Good evening and welcome to the quiz in English with me, Hayley Edmonds. Sorry, I'm just totally bluffed by my beautiful car. How do you like my Mustang here? Qu'est-ce qu'elle est belle, my beautiful car. We're just having a big discussion about Bullet just before we came live on air. And the fact that the original car was actually bought in those kind of like announces in the newspaper in the early 70s. And the man hid it away for approximately, well, 40 years. And it was the 40th anniversary of the Mustang just this year, if I'm not mistaken. And his son, his father's now deceased, has brought it out to show everyone what they've been missing for the last 40 years. And Steve McQueen even tried to buy it. Anyway, that's nothing to do. It's kind of in the theme because today we're going to be talking about cars once again. Sorry, guys. It'll only be one this week. I promise you. I promise you. So if you are a fan of cars, well, there is a lot of money up for grabs tonight. There's 100 euros for those of you who get more than 400 points. And for those of you, the super winners that get 960 points, well, we're chucking an extra 50 euros in there to share amongst yourselves. So how does one go about getting 400 points, or even better, becoming a super winner? Well, you have to play strategically. Because we're Be The One, we are very generous, and we've given you 4 jokers. We've given you 2 50-50s that will take away 2 wrong answers. And we've given you 2 multiple jokers, one that will multiply the point score by 3 and another by 5. Now, the first question is worth 10 points, and the points go all the way up to question number 9, which is worth 100 points. So if you're playing strategically, then you put those jokers down right at the end. From actually question number 7 is worth 80 points, 80 points as well, and then number 9, 100. There's a little tip for you guys. Let's get started and let's get trying to earn some funny money on this quiz in English, a car special. My car's gone now. I'm getting a bit upset about this. Anyway, question number 1. Talking about sexy cars, let's start this with Reliant. Famously made which car? Was it the Robin? Was it Peter? Was it Jack? Or was it Harold? Reliant famously made which car? Talking about being famous, it was made famous by another hunk, talking about Steve McQueen. Mr. Bean used to have one. There we go, and a teacher at my school used to have one as well. It's a 3-wheeled car, and it was made over a period of 30 years. The answer is a Robin Reliant. A Robin Reliant. 40% of you got that one correct. 23% of you thought it was a Jack Reliant. 22% of you thought it was Harold Reliant. And 15% of you thought it was Peter Reliant. Well, nay, it was Robin. And Lily, 1440, you got that one correct, my friend. You're off to a great start in this quiz in English. Question number 2. In which UK town is the Land Rover plant? Is it Luton? Is it Reading? Is it Solihull, or is it Dagenham? Now, which UK town is the Land Rover and Range Rover plant? So Luton, Reading, Solihull, or Dagenham? Now, Jaguar and Land Rover were actually sold in 2008 to Tata Motors, an Indian company. But they are still making Range Rovers and Land Rover Discovery SUVs there. In fact, just recently, they had to close for 2 weeks because there was a slump in sales in China. See, I'm giving you vital information. The right answer is Solihull. 31% of you got that one correct. 26% of you thought it was Dagenham. Dagenham Motors. No, that's not what we want. 19% of you thought it was Reading. I'm from near Reading. And 24% of you thought it was Luton. Nay, my friends, nay. Maxime Torag, you got that one correct. Let's move on to question number 3 of this quiz in English. Ian Callum is famous for designing which particular car? So he's a car designer. He has designed many, or participated in designing of. I want to know one particular car he's especially famous for designing. Is it Mini? Is it Aston Martin? Is it Bentley, or is it McLaren? He's a Scottish car designer, and he has worked for several motor companies. I won't give it away just yet. I'm going to give the answer, though. The answer is Aston Martin. In fact, it's the Aston Martin DB7, to be precise, of which he's most famous for designing. And he currently works for Jaguar. So there we go, and he used to work for Ford. So now we know everything. Aston Martin. Now, statistically, 41% of you got that one correct. 23% of you thought it was McLaren, 18% of you thought it was Bentley, and 18% of you thought it was Mini, who's now owned by BMW. There we go. Lily 1440, you got that one correct once again, my friend. You're off to a good start in this quiz in English. Question number 4. Holder Motors is a division of GM, that's General Motors, in which country? Is it Australia? Is it Britain? Is it Canada? Or is it Brazil? Holder Motors, that was a huge clue, mate. Holder Monaro, that was an even bigger clue, mate. Wow. What's the answer, mate? The answer is Australia. I've just given it all away there. Come on, I'm being extra generous, just because I had Steve McQueen's bullet behind me. Without the horse on, as I've just been informed, that because Ford didn't give them any cars for the actual filming, they took it off. So no promo for you, Ford. The right answer was Australia. 42% of you got that one correct. 28% of you thought it was Canada. 19% of you said Britain. And 11% of you, Brazil. Lily1440, you got that one correct once again. Lily, honey, good for you. Question number 5. The Stella, not Carpenter, my co-presenter, my French version, is made by whom, or was made by whom? Was it Nissan? Was it Toyota? Was it Honda? Or was it Hyundai? The Stella. The Stella was made from 1983 to 1987. Who made it? The right answer? It's Hyundai, guys. Hyundai. They made the Hyundai. They made the Stella. Stella, Stella for star. Reminds me of Cat and Hot Tin Roof. There we go. Blanche. Should that? Stella, her name's Stella, Stella for star. I'm going off on a tangent. Statistically, let's get some stats through. Okay, we won't. Let's get some stats through. Oh yes, we will. 35% of you got that one correct. 24% of you thought it was Nissan. 20% of you said Toyota. No. And 22% of you thought it was Honda. Adamov, you got that one correct, my friend. Moving on up and moving on. Question number 6. The 1955 Star Chief was made by whom? Pontiac, Chevrolet, Ford, or Plymouth? I know we say Plymouth, but I'm putting it, getting into character. The 1955 Star Chief was made by whom? Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's the car in Greece that they convert at the end. Now I'm actually doubting myself. Maybe it's not. Anyway, debatable. I'll have a look at that after, and I'll come back to you and tell the answer tomorrow. I'm just imagining them on the roof going Grease lightning. The right answer was Pontiac, my friends. Pontiac made the Star Chief. Statistically, let's get some statistics. Now, 37% of you got that one correct. 24% of you thought it was Chevrolet. 22% of you thought it was Ford. And 16% of you thought it was a Plymouth. Barracuda. No. Mussy, you got that one right. Well done. Let's move on to question number 7 of this quiz in English. If my iPad is going to let me do it. Yes, it is. Question number 7. The Chrysler TC, that's for a towing convertible, was actually made by whom? Or co-made by whom? Honda, BMW, Maserati, or Nissan? Who made the Chrysler TC? Well, actually, little information, it was a flop. It was a flop because it was an American company's attempt at Europeanizing, or is that a word? Have I conjugated Europeanizing as a nation? A car. So I've kind of given it away. The right answer is Maserati. Yes, it was a complete flop, unfortunately. They tried to put a car out there to be concurrence, compete with the Jaguar XJS of the time, for example, that was hugely successful in Europe. Statistically, 49% of you got that one right. Oh, that was so easy, gosh. 23% of you thought it was BMW. 13% of you thought it was Honda, and 15% of you thought it was Nissan. Let's move on to question number 8, the penultimate question of this quiz in English on cars. The Prime Minister of which country famously owned several Triumph 2000s? Canada, New Zealander, I don't know why I put an on the end, being very specific, Britain, or Australia? Now, which country's Prime Minister was a proud owner of 2 Triumph 2000s? In fact, his country has a passion for this car, apparently. The right answer, my friends, is NZ. It's New Zealand. Yeah, mate. New Zealand. It was Robert Muldoon. He had 2 Triumph 2000s, a blue 2500 and a white 2500. You just loved them. Couldn't get enough of them, mate. Loved them. Loved them. Statistically, how about I just give some statistics? 57% of you got that one correct. Oh, 18% of you thought it was Canada, 14% of you thought it was Britain, 10% of you thought it was Australia. You the man, you got that one right. Let's move on to the final question of this quiz in English on cars. Drum roll, please. What area of Oxford is linked with the British car industry? Is it Cowley? Is it Littlemore? Is it Headington? Or is it Botley? What area of Oxford is linked with the British car industry? Yes, for any foreigners playing, Oxford isn't just known for its university, it is also known for cheese and cars. And the right answer is Cowley. It's actually called Plant Oxford, and it's currently it's now in BMW. In fact, that's where they assemble Minis. Huh? Did you know that? It looks like you did, because 75% of you got that one correct. 9% of you said Littlemore, 9% of you said Headington, and 7% of you said Botley. Christophe! Sounds very French, so I'm going to say bravo, bravo, well done, well done. Guys, you have been on fire tonight. 450 of you, yes, 450 of you will be taking, as I say, taking some money home with you. You might be at home, so, you know, just sitting home and you're getting some cash. We'll be taking home some cash tonight. How much? Just going to... 22 cents. Oh my gosh. And for those of you, the super winners, we have 56 super winners. They'll be getting €1.12. Look at that. Wow. Guys, I hope you like this quiz. If you have any more kind of additional information, because I'm quite interested in that kind of, in fact, it's my favourite category. If you hadn't realised, I will stop doing car quizzes. Just put some random facts on the Bethewone page, because I will look at them and I will probably learn stuff, because I like learning as well. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me with this quiz in English tonight. I'll be back tomorrow for another funky quiz on everything British. So have a great evening and goodbye from me.